Which of the following molecules best represents the structure of a triglyceride?
A.
We're gonna have A. Alright. Which of the following is not a polymer?
D.
D.
Alright. A diet in triglycerides may lead to obesity. The feature of triglycerides which most likely contributes to this is that they
B.
have many
B.
CH bonds. Beautiful. Right. Which of the following cell structure contains phospholipids?
2 and 3.
First C.
2 and 3 only. Ribosomes can't really. Alright. So here now, which of the following bonds is formed between these two molecules during a condensation reaction?
B.
Peptide.
Peptide. Okay. Which of the following structures is found in both a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell?
Ribosome.
A.
Ribosome. Beautiful. Right. Collagen exhibits a secondary level of protein structure and organization because
C.
C. Beautiful. Right. So each chain forms a helix held by hydrogen bonds. A. Which of the following reactions is needed for the formation of a peptide bond?
D.
Condensation. It was literally up there. What I'm going to start to do is just go across, right? So not really by number. When a plant cell is placed in a solution with less negative water potential than its cell sap, the cell becomes more
A.
turgid or more flaccid.
More turgid.
More turgid. Alright. So more turgid. Alright. So here. This is a repeated question. What is the answer that supports the
B.
it?
B.
So prokaryotic has circular DNA and mitochondria have circular DNA. So that combines it. That gives a link between the two. Right, so the table below shows 3 processes involved in the movement of substances across a cell membrane. Which of the following correctly states whether the 3 processes are shown to be active or passive in nature?
C.
C.
See, this is a repeat, right? So it is. Which of the following correctly identifies structures labeled 1, 2, and 3 in this diagram?
A.
A. So the cortex, then 2 would be the phloem, and then the xylem. Makes sense. 13. Which of the following is the best example of anabolism?
C.
C.
Amino acids joined together. Alright. So 15 here. I'm just gonna go across to allow it to be a little bit more smoother than me scrolling up and down each page, alright? Let's just go across, right? So the decline in the rate of a reaction at X is most likely result.
C.
Okay, C, tertiary structure, loss of tertiary structure. 14. Which of the following activity curves best represents the rate of reaction of an enzyme with increasing substrate concentration?
C.
A.
1. So I heard C and I heard A. A, right? Because the enzymes will start to get saturated, so saturation. It's not looking good, but yeah. Here now, let's understand this. So item 16 refers to the following events which take place during the semi-conservative replication of DNA in a eukaryotic organism. So first, covalent bonds form adjacent nucleotides on the same strand. 2, DNA double helix unwinds. 3, free nucleotides joined by hydrogen bonds to those on the exposed strand. And 4, hydrogen bonds are broken between the complementary base pairs. So which of the following correctly identifies the sequence of events from first to last, which takes place during semi-conservative replication of DNA in that eukaryotic cell?
Sir D.
D.
D. So we're saying firstly the double helix has to unwind, and then hydrogen bonds break the complementary base pairs. Are we sure?
Yes, sir.
Are we sure? Are you sure it's not the hydrogen bonds break and then it unwinds?
I think the hydrogen bonds break and then it unwind.
So
That makes
C.
more sense.
How the bonds have to break before before it unwinds, right? So we have that. This now, which two molecules when combined with a phosphate group forms an RNA nucleotide? That has to be
A.
that. A. Alright. So, which of the following events in meiosis contributes directly to variation?
Sir B.
E. Separation of homologous pairs, right? So that really concentrates on independent assortment. So they separate their independently assortment, or will assort it, right? By Mendel's laws. Which of the following rows matches each structure with its correct name? What was the answer for this?
C.
C. Alright, so C is chromatin, and from if you don't know anything else, C has to be chromatin. Right?
Sir, this
First.
question have an error.
Oh, let me see. What's it? Error 3 is the histone, 2 is the DNA, and oh, I see that. This should be chromosome and not chromatid. Right? That should be chromosome and not chromatid. You seeing it? Alright. Because it has to be C. Well, C is the best answer. Right there. C is the best answer. Right? Wait, let me scroll back up.
Said to be A.
Hold on, give me a moment. Give me a moment. mRNA genetic code for 6 amino acids are shown here. The RNA triplet code, what would this be? UAG acts as a stop codon, right? Which of the following is the current amino acid sequence for the following DNA template strand? TAC. What would TAC be?
UGs.
Right, so it has to be methionine. Okay, it has to be this, right? Then AAG.
UUC. Phenylalanine.
So it's gonna be phenylalanine. That means that C and D are out of the question, right? So for ATG,
USC.
which is
cysteine.
cysteine. That means that B is the correct answer here. Alright. 21. Which of the following statements is not true of most homologous chromosomes?
B.
Repeat question, right? 22. What's the answer? C.
B.
Oh, A. So we see changes, right? So this would be fertilization, and then the other will be DNA synthesis, right? So they just switch around the answers. So here we have the Pacific salmon question, right? So we're saying that they prefer to be very large or very small, and it shows this curve.
B.
Disruption. Beautiful. Right? So from the position and shape of these chromosomes, what stage of mitosis has been reached? This is
C.
C, early anaphase. Beautiful. Right? So here there are, I can't read this. There are something mechanisms which result in the population. Oh, sorry. What is that? Selective mechanisms which can result in one population of the same species what is this now? Whatever into different species, right? Which of the following, right? Which of the following is an example of behavioral isolation? What's the answer? The spiders, right?
C.
D. 26. The sickle cell anemia, right? So in sickle cell anemia, the sickling of the red blood cells is a result of the mutation of
B.
B.
a single base pair on a gene that encodes for the beta globin peptide.
Yes, sir.
All right. So remember what happens in this? Is it valine, right? Valine changed to what?
Glutamic acid to valine.
Or repeat?
Glutamic acid.
Glutamic acid changes to valine.
Oh, glutamic acid changes to valine. All right, makes sense. 26. Which of the following events that occur during meiosis is most likely to result in chromosomal mutation? Non-disjunction. All right. Here, oh my, this is hard to read. But it's the same question, right? But they're using fruits, right? It's the same question as the fur one.
Sir, what was 27? Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh.
What was 27?
A. Non-disjunction.
Okay, thank you.
28 would be what answer for 28?
Sir, A.
A.
A? That's what we're saying? Is that everyone's saying?
For which number, sir? 28?
For 28.
B.
D.
Okay, let's deliberate on this. So what's right? The phenotypic ratio of dihybrid crosses are usually 9 to 3 to 3 to 1. Right? It tends to be 9 to 3 to 3 to 1 if they're independently assorted. Right? But we don't see 9 to 3 to 3 to 1. So what is happening here? What are different phenotypes that we see? Right? So we're saying that the first gene, the W, right? The capital W represents the absence of color, right? While small w represents the presence of color, right? So the genes W, right, controls color presentation, right? While Y shows green, right? Capital Y shows yellow, sorry, and common Y shows green. So what would be the cross for this? I think we need to resort to a cross. Do we need to resort to a cross? Let us have the cross. Let us.
Yes, sir.
So if the W is inhibiting everything, why would this be a dihybrid?
Ah, so you're saying why would it be a dihybrid? Interesting. But it is still going to be a dihybrid because two sets of genes are involved. So let's just have a look at this, right? We're gonna have this. Right? So I hope you can judge the difference between my capital W's, right, and my common W's. And then we're gonna have this. So we have that so far. Then we're gonna have capital W. Hold on, capital W. Large Y. Then we're gonna have our capital W, small y, and then we just repeat it. Large Y, small w, small. Right, so let us have a cross to determine what is happening here. So let me change the color of my pen first. So what's happening here? So for the first box here, alright, we're gonna get W, two large W's, right? Right, and two large Y's. So what I'm going to do is just write it out and then get back to you guys. Alright, so here now. Alright, what we're saying is that the capital W, right? Capital W, what does it do again in the question?
No color.
It eliminates color, so it'll be white.
Absence of color, right? So we have an absence of color. So let me use gray, right, on the paper. It's absence of color. So everywhere we see capital W, there's no color, right? Right?
Right.
Is that true?
I think according to the question, yes.
Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 whites. Interesting. Right, how many yellows do we have? Capital Y gives yellow. So how many yellows we have? Right? 1, 2, and 3. Right? And how many greens do we have? 1, right? Any issues with this? That means that D is the answer. Now we shall move on with life, as this is definitive proof. Alright. So 29. In addition to the what? Insulin gene? The human insulin gene. Which of the following enzymes would be required to produce recombinant plasmid? Yeah, we're gonna need DNA ligase. That's repeated, right? 30. Alright. One rule of transfer RNA in the protein synthesis is to, what is the rule?
A.
Yes, sir.
Deliver amino acids. Beautiful. I mark up this diagram, but let's see what's happening. Alright. So, which of the following accurately lists the types of cell division 1, 2, and 3? So, from 1, what's happening there?
So mitosis.
Mitosis. That means that A, B, that means that C is out of the question, right? What is a spermatogonium? Let me ask the question. What is spermatogonium?
Spermatogonia.
What is a spermatogonium?
Oh well, it's singular spermatogonia, and it's essentially like the mother cell in a sense.
Is
Like,
it a stem cell?
is it? Yes, it's a stem cell.
So from the spermatogonium, right, or multiple spermatogonia, right, we're going to have the other cells coming out of it, right? So what happens what is the process of the spermatogonium producing its other cells? Right, is it through mitosis or meiosis?
Well, both.
Both, sir.
Both. We're not saying it's
In
producing.
meiosis first, and then mitosis afterwards.
So it's through meiosis. Alright, so we're saying it's through meiosis. Right? And after meiosis, we have mitosis. Then we have meiosis 2 finishing. Right? To produce the spermatozoa, isn't it so?
Wait, so isn't mitosis first to produce
Yeah, you start with mitosis.
So we're saying that the spermatogonium grows and matures first through
Nice.
mitosis, and then it splits through meiosis 1, then produces spermatozoa through meiosis 2.
Uh,
Well,
yes.
it's a primary. Well, the spermatids will be made after meiosis 2, and then after differentiation, will be there's spermatozoon.
Okay, so that means that the answer is
B, sir.
B.
okay. What is this now? 32. The most important advantage of asexual reproduction is that
B.
B.
many offsprings are produced in a short period of time. That's the most important.
C.
Sir, sexual or asexual?
Asexual.
Oh, D.
Oh, so I said B.
D because they
Yeah, vote D, sir.
maintain.
Okay, so asexual. What happens in asexual? No variation, right? No variation, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So C is out of the question. There's no variation, right? Eliminates risk of
Sir, but that
deleterious.
says, sir, that says sexual though.
Isn't this is sexual? This is asexual?
It
Oh,
looked
yeah.
like
Yeah, it does.
asexual.
Oh, it's sexual for
Sexual.
real. Oh, I'm not. I can't see. Okay. All right. So it's asexual. So it's the most important advantage of sexual reproduction then.
So I said C.
C.
Okay. All right. So my bad. I couldn't see asexual. It's actually said.
So if it was asexual, then it would be D.
It would most likely be D.
Okay.
So why not B?
B because yeah, it allows the production of many offspring, sure, right? But that's not necessarily the most important thing because through sexual reproduction, sexually reproducing organisms create a lot of offspring as well, create fish create thousands of offspring, right, through sexual reproduction. So it's not necessarily the most important advantage of asexual reproduction. It'd probably be because the most desired genes being passed over to the next generation every time due to lack of variation. So that would probably be it. So there's no desirable trait lost, right, through asexual reproduction.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
Alright, let me just allow this person to enter. Okay, let's go. Which of the following accurately describes the outbreeding? Is outbreeding that says? Outbreeding mechanisms in flowering plants used to promote cross-pollination.
Sir, B.
So, self-incompatibility, no fertilization. Protandry says that the the stamen matures before the stigma, that is protandry. And dioecious means that the male and female flowers are on the separate plants. Makes sense. B. Which of the following label structure produces fluids which aid the transport of sperm?
A, sir.
1 and 2. What is 1?
Cooper's gun.
Prostate gland, sir.
Prostate. What is 2? Well, wait. What is 2? Wait, 2 is Cowper's gland and 1 is prostate gland, right?
I'll say so. Where's the seminal vesicles?
Seminal vesicles, right? The seminal vesicles here.
So what was 33?
Wait, repeat. Let me see. Let me see what's happening now. Here, hold on. What is the purpose of the seminal vesicle, though?
I'll say to release fluids which help to nurse the sperm.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So I might be able to get these that relates to this graph. All right, so let me see here, right? So the prostate would be one, right? The seminal vesicle, I think that would be the seminal vesicle, right? The Cowper's gland is a bit different. What is the Cowper's gland? Let me ask that first.
Is it what releases the fluid inside the urethra to neutralize the urine?
All right, so it flushes the urethra, right, with alkali mixtures that help to reduce helps to reduce the acidity, right? So it's something like that through so it's something like that, right? To the bulbourethral gland, right? But A would be the best answer here. 35. Which of the labeled structures will give rise to two male gametes? E. What's the answer for this 36? It's a repeat, right?
A.
A. Alright. Which of the following events occurred during double fertilization? This repeated, right? Or no, it didn't. It's a different structure, but the question repeated. The male gamete fuses with the egg and in the embryo sac to produce triploid nucleus. No. This is true, and let me see. The gamete fuses with the diploid nucleus to form let me see. So 1, the male gamete fuses with the egg in the embryo sac to form a triploid nucleus. Is that true? Or the male gamete fuses with the egg in the embryo sac to form a diploid zygote? Would be more likely a zygote.
Oh yes, sir. One is incorrect.
Alright. So anywhere one is not, C would be the answer. Alright. So a male gamete fuses with diploid nucleus. Alright, to form. Alright, so that makes sense. C is the answer. 35. Which of the following statements identifies a difference between the secondary oocyte and the ovum? What are the differences?
D.
The secondary
D?
oocyte,
Yes, sir.
while the ovum has completed mitotic divisions. I could beg to argue, but we're gonna speak about that. We're gonna beg to differ after that. Which of the following explains why the nucleus of the ovum occupies a smaller portion of the egg than does the nucleus of the sperm?
Yes, sir.
B?
Yes, it contains food stores in the cytoplasm. Alright. 40. Which of the following pairs of structures contribute directly to the development of placenta?
C,
Sir,
sir.
is it C?
The chorion and endometrium?
Yes, sir.
The chorion and the endometrium.
It's B.
B.
The chorion and the allantois.
C.
I would believe. Who? Okay, hold on. So why do we say endometrium?
Because that's where the blastocyte is implanted into.
Yeah, but what directly develops the placenta though?
Wait, sir. Isn't the placenta formed from the endometrium or on it?
Yes, it does. It's out of it. So we're saying that the endometrium is there. The endometrium and the chorion. What
Yes,
does the allantois do?
Sir, I thought that was one part that develops into the umbilical cord, sir. Like it attaches to the chorion, and then that becomes the umbilical cord.
Alright, so the allantois is the embryonic precursor, right? So it forms before the umbilical cord, right? So we all agree that the chorion is a part of the answer, but it's different between the allantois and the endometrium. So is it the allantois or the endometrium? Which one?
So another allantois is like the thing with like the wastage from I think the fetus that collects.
Yeah,
I'm not
the
really sure.
embryonic umbilical cord. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if that develops the placenta.
Not necessarily. So we're just going to stuck. You just stuck.
Sir, I still think the answer is C.
The best answer is C.
Yes, sir. I think the better answer is C.
We can discuss it after. Right. So, which of the following events occurring during the ovarian cycle is a result of the negative feedback, right, ensued by an increase in estrogen levels? What's the answer?
D, sir.
Is this repeated? Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what is the rule of Y?
A.
A, sir.
Beautiful. Here now, I am not even going to ask questions because we know the answers to these. The mini birth control pill works mainly by
Sir A.
suppressing, alright, preventing ovulation. So you
Sir,
have
we're not
that.
D.
Sir, I think it's D.
Oh, okay, thickening the cervical mucus by preventing the spermatozoa from eating the ova. Okay, thus preventing. Okay, so we're saying that it might be D.
Yes, sir. Because isn't it just a combined pill that would work for both of them? Those.
Oh. Alright, so we're saying that the mini birth control pill. So there's a difference between mini and combined.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we need to work out the answer for this.
Mini pill thickens cervical mucus and thins the lining of the uterus. And I think it only contains progestin. I don't know.
Progesterone.
Alright, yeah.
Alright,
So
so D is the best answer. Okay. So is that for that paper.